Welcome to the Jamodi Podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it.
Welcome to the Ballology app Ultimate Demo. Trusted by leaders in the game. Ballology is a player development platform built for coaches and players alike. You can expect live shot tracking, workout libraries, and AI insights. You can easily chart team shooting drills in practice or in training sessions. Track all of those shots using an iPhone or an Android device in real time. You can view your team's performance through a video archive or by using our shot charts. After every shooting workout, take a look at your breakdown by viewing your percentages and your shot locations. Let's take a deeper look to learn how to make the most out of the Ballology app. Let's see how you measure up in the Ballology Skills Assessment, where you can test your shooting skills versus other shooters worldwide. Navigate to Ballology AI, where you can ask any question to get answers in real time for smarter training.
Make that footwork a little more sharp.
Coaches or players can create custom workouts in just minutes. Hit your on-court skills or basketball IQ or even strength and conditioning. It can be done on the Ballology app. Compete with everything you do on the Ballology app through our workout leaderboards. Elevate your game with the Ballology app. Download it for free today.
Coach, I already mentioned the social media platform that you use with your team. And just a few things that I saw on there that I'd like to ask about. But first, what is your goal and what are you trying to achieve through your school's program or platform?
You're talking about the social media platform?
Yep.
I guess for me, it's just the time that we live in, right? Kids are all over social media, parents are social media, college coaches are social media. And I just, part of it is, it sounds crazy, but, having 10,000 followers on Twitter, part of it is, I think it's my responsibility to be able to market our program, our players, our community, everything like that. Because I have a special community, man, special athletic department, special kids, special parents. And, so I think part of it is just the world that we live in. And I feel like it's my responsibility to do that first and foremost. But, for me, I want to make the big time where I'm at. Right. Whether that's in high school, whether that's in college. And, when I came in and I took the job, I told my AD, I said, look, man, I'm going to run it like a college program. I know nothing other than to run a college program. I've never been around anything other than college programs, really. So I'm going to run it that way. And I think that social media is a big platform for that. You see any successful college program, they have some great social media stuff. And so for me, I think it's free marketing, right? And it's a way to, make what I want to do is be the premier program in the state of Indiana. Like I want other schools to look at us and be like, I want to do what they're doing. I don't want it to be the other way around where I'm looking at other schools. I want to do what they're doing. Like I want to be a trendsetter. I tell our guys all the time, like we need to be the standard. You be the standard and not the rule. We don't want to just be the baseline. We want to be what everybody's trying to get to. And so I think that's, with social media, I think that's the same thing.
I love that. Okay. A couple questions specific to the Bruin Bite of the day. Tell me a little bit more about that. Is it just things that you're kind of seeing or themes that you're talking about every day? Do you try to do that every day? Do you miss days? How does that work?
So we do it every day that we practice. So it's basically what we do is if we practice, I'll have a word for the day or a bright bite for the day. And I put it on Twitter so our guys have to go see it during the day. And then it gives them the day to kind of think about it. It gives our program really a way to think about it. And then before practice, I'll talk to them about it and they'll, give it back to me like, hey, like today was Kaizen, which is, Japanese stuff of, small increments getting you better. Right. And so I made them just by putting that on there, they went and looked at it, right? They went and looked it up. And so then when we got to practice, they kind of knew what it was like, what it was. So, begin with the end in mind was one time, and that was our first day of practice, and so it's just a daily word that I want guys to kind of think about. Before practice, we always lock arms when we talk. And that's the first thing that we bring up is the bite of the day, the word of the day. They've really taken to it. I've been proud of it. Now I got to figure out how many, I'm going to have 100 quotes at some point. So it's like trying to find all those, but I'm a big quote guy. I like, I'm a sucker for a good quote, but because I think that, there's something in all those, but it's more so to get our guys engaged with broaden their horizons. They would never have looked up a Japanese word if they hadn't seen it today, right?
Yep.
And just culturally it helps them as well.
6 a.m. bell ringers.
Okay. So it's not just 6 a.m. So we
bell ring. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually it's actually taken a mind of its own, really. But so I took it from my friend Mike Weiner. He's the assistant coach with the Pacers, and I went to a Pacers practice, and they have a bell in their gym. And so what they do at the end of practice is they shoot 25 threes from 5 spots, and then if they hit 20, they get to go ring the bell. And our guys have really taken to it, so they go over and they'll shoot 25 threes, and they get mad when they only hit 19, but they hit 20 or 21, they go over ring the bell. We make a big deal about it. So I started to do that, and then my idea was we'd ring it when we came out before games, ring it and then come out. And then after wins, we would go over to the bell and the student section would come out. Well, our AD and everybody liked it so much. Now it's an athletic department thing. So every time we win, they ring the bell. So now it's every time that's the volleyball team, which our volleyball team is really good, so they win a lot. So they come out and they ring the bell. So it's actually taken a mind of its own on, and I'm glad that our program was able to kind of make it an athletic program type thing. So we actually just put a big old sign that says "ring the bell" on it, and the student athletes come into my room, and they're like, "Hey, we got to ring the bell today." And one of the girls, she's got her 1,000th kill, so she got over and ring the bell when she got her 1,000th kill. So it's taken off more than even I thought it would. So I just wanted it so our guys stayed afterwards. They hit extra shots and had competition. Every accomplishment that our athletic department, anybody in our athletic department has, like they get to take off with it. So it's been pretty cool.
Borrowing that. I think with all we really enjoy shooting games, and it's a big part of our training. I'll take shooting games over volume shooting any day.
Yep.
And so a huge list of shooting games and trying to learn more and more every day. And we have our top scores that we've ever had. But what if you also had standards for ringing the bell? So today we did green, yellow, red shooting, and one of our seniors got 69 out of 90. That's pretty darn good. 4 minutes, 9 spots, shooting 10 shots at spots. You got to get to 90 though before the 4 minutes, or it doesn't count. So you're going fast. But our record is 78, and a guy years ago he only missed 12 out of the 90, and it was pretty fast. But what if I had something besides just trying to beat that record? Because most likely a lot of the guys will never get close to
it, right?
But they could get close to 60. And what if 60 pretty darn good? Hey, you get to ring that bell at 60 or higher. Yeah. I think that could be fun. How did it work with either wins or the student section or any of that? When do they do that? Because I'm more of I love the idea, but actually, how do you do it, Guy?
Well, I haven't been able to yet, but the idea right now is so we have like an interest area where our guys will come onto the floor before the game. And in high school here, you get 20 minutes to warm up. They'll hit the horn at 20, and then the clock starts. So the idea that we have is we'll ring the bell, they'll hit the horn, we'll run onto the floor. That'll be the first one. And then the way that we're set up with our student section is we shake hands. And our student section is kind of like off to the other side of the floor. And so they would meet us at the bell, which is right by where our bench is. So after we shake their hands, we're coming back to our locker room. It's all right there. And the idea is that the student section meets us there. They gather around. We all gather around. We are Tri-West, and shake the bell. We also do like a bell ringer at the game. So whoever rings that bell when we come out, like honorary bell ringers, people from the community, donors, anything that we can do, bell ringer at the game and honorary, the people that, are a big part of a program that, maybe they'll get recognized the way that they should. They'll be the ones that ring it when we come out.
Okay. I'm going to be the negative guy thinking about it. How do you keep people from ringing the bell at the wrong time? Like during the game, or kids just messing around during the day, walking through the gym, ringing the bell, or just let that go?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We do a really good job of not letting kids run through there during the day. So I haven't heard it go off at all. The other thing is,
and maybe not during the day is that big a deal, but maybe just
talking about during a JV game or something.
Yeah, a punk kid trying to do something. I could see, I always want to do fun things, but you also got to explore, okay, how could this get me fired? Or how could this get me in trouble?
Well, the school cop standing there might help a little bit.
Have your SRO standing right there.
Yeah, and that's kind of where my AD kind of hangs out too, is over on that area too. I mean, it is what it is. There's going to be hey, somebody ring the bell when they weren't supposed to. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen at some point, but that's no different than the buzzer going off when it's not supposed to.
Right. You're right.
So my daughter running. My daughter's more likely to run on the floor than that happen.
That's fair. So after the game, your team wins. you get together with the students. How does that work again?
So the student section, it would have to, they're going to come across the floor, kind of just meet us at the bell. So as we're shaking hands with them, they'll meet us at because our locker room's kind of over in that area. So they'll just meet us over there. So like imagine like they're on the opposite side of the floor. They come, towards us, as we're shaking hands this way, then we turn around and come back, and as everybody just meets at the bell, it's like a, meet at the flagpole type thing. So, and it's,
love that.
Yeah. And, I've been doing a lot of things trying to, I really, growing up in Indiana, right? Like you think basketball, right? And it's like, that's like the thing. So, we're doing some like pizza nights. I have a barbecue restaurant that's going to do barbecue sandwiches one night. I have a sugar cookie place that's doing sugar cookies for our students one night, so just trying to, I think that one of the things when I took the job is like I wanted to make it Hoosier Hysteria again. And I think that's part of it, and just getting students there. We're going to have a designated area for our grade school, middle school that's their own student section as well. We'll call it the Cub Den. So we have the Bruin Den, which is the high school kids, and we have the Cub Den, which they'll have their own section. I have a unbelievable youth league program. I had over 250 kids sign up for it, and so they're all going to get T-shirts in their own area, so they can come to every game, and they'll have their own section up there with their own cheers and everything, and they'll come down to the bell too. And they're just trying to get on board grade school, middle school, high school, everybody, because that's the great thing about being at a school like Tri-West is it's invested. So I'm excited for C's. I'm excited for all of them to come down to the bell. Like I said, it's taken a mind of its own, man, and it's been pretty cool to see. So.
I love it. Tell me a little bit about the youth league that you do. Is that literally something that you're running, or you're creating teams and they're going to a league that already exists?
Okay. So when I first took the job, I was working 3 days a week in June with grade school, middle school, and high school. So I brought the grade school in for 45 minutes, the middle school in for 45 minutes, and the high school in for 2 hours, all June and July, because it was really, really important to me to have a feeder system. So when I got the job, I thought, that's the thing that I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to really build the youth program or anything like that. And I walked into a gold mine, man. Like I walked into, it's an in-house league that's ran by, they have their own organization, they have their own board, everything. So basically I just have to be the face of it and come in and coach, right? And coach the coaches, be around the kids, build relationships with kids. That's what I wanted to do. And so the way that works is we have 2 leagues. We have a travel league and we have an in-house league. So our travel league is 1 team per age level, 2nd through 6th grade. And they'll actually travel out they'll go to like north side of Indy, play in a league there. They'll play in another league down this way. And they have tryouts for those if kids want to do those. And so those are your kids that want to do travel ball. And then we have our in-house league, which is they'll practice once or twice a week here in town by coaches that are trained by me. Like they get they come down and go through their practice plans and stuff with me. And then they'll play games on Saturdays at the gym at Tri-West. And my guys will be there to help run score, be around, everything like that. So those will run October all the way to December, and then January into I think March. And then my travel ball will be the same way. And they'll play Saturdays and Sundays, but they'll play like a travel ball competition schedule. So, but man, I walked into a gold mine because those are both set up already. And, kind of all I had to do was work with the people, the amazing people. All I've had to do is work with them as far as like, hey, this is how I kind of want this ran. This is how I kind of want this ran. And they took care of the logistics, the fundraising, everything like that for it. And, so I was with a couple high school coaching buddies the other day. I said, man, I walked into an absolute gold mine, man. I don't they're in year 6 or 7 still trying to set up their youth leagues. And here I am, like all I got to do is show up to tryouts on Saturday. So it's been awesome. And like I said, I think that, when I took the job, one of the things that was really important to me was that, and, being able to do that with those kids in June and July. I've seen, I'll go over to lunch times during the day to the junior high or the mid. I got to get over to the grade school more, but I've been to the junior high a couple times. I'm going to try to get over to the grade schools more. And just show face over there, because those kids, like I walk into to lunch and those kids light up like Coach Strine's here. But my thing is I don't want it just to be just our varsity guys that I care about that know me. I want it to be the grade school guys that know me, the middle school guys that know me. And so it's been really cool. We're going to do like a full program breakfast thing where, the alumni come through. And that's the other thing is too, like I've been trying to get really involved with our alumni, and we have some amazing alumni here that are willing to help out, that want to see us succeed, want to see me succeed. And, being a guy that's not from Tri-West and being a guy that's not from the area, it's been awesome, having them involved. So I tell them it's their program. I'm just happen to be running it, and so having our program from alumni all the way down to 2nd graders has been really cool.
Wow. Yeah, really impressed by that. I think I am focused on the 7th through 12th grade being present for them, making sure that their players and their families know that I'm invested. I don't think I've done that good of a job at the younger grades, the 2nd through 6th grade. We're a K through 12 private school. We've got about 340 kids in the high school, so decent size. But in Dallas-Fort Worth area, I mean, Allen High School has 7,000 kids. So little bit,
Andy Dalton, right?
Yeah. A little bit different.
I'm a Bengals fan, so I know that. I know.
Yeah, so a little bit different, but I think I could be more intentional with that. And I was thinking of just even there's this 3-on-3 league out there. I think it's 3-on-3 Hoops Hub or something like that. And they run this 3-on-3 league. They try to teach other people to do it as well. But whole idea is kids come, they play for 20 minutes, and there's no score. They're just playing. No wins and losses, just pure joy. Players get to be a part of it. It's 3-on-3, so more space, more action.
You learn to play when you're playing.
Less mine. Yeah. But I think that's something that with our smaller numbers here might be able to get done and move people through, almost create something, a little bit like a business almost in our own, have my players help out with it, not get paid them, but they need outside community service hours outside of our school every year.
Well, there it is.
That's a way. But you gave me some really good ideas there. Love the engagement and the things that you're creating. And this is my 12th year here. I don't want to let that part of it slip. Whereas I get older, I do less and less of that.
Right.
Like I want to keep trying to be creative like you are.
Yeah. I mean, my AD probably gets mad at me because I'm coming in with a new idea every day. But, I mean, that's my wife gets mad. We were talking the other day, and one of the things about me is I always want more, right? Like it's like, okay, like we're doing this locker room renovation, and my booster club's been unbelievable with it. My alumni have been unbelievable with it, and they just put all the signs up yesterday, and the transformation is unbelievable. We're getting a custom carpet coming in, and now all I'm thinking about is, okay, now how do I get the stools for the lockers? Like it's like I enjoyed it for about 25 seconds, and I'm like, okay, now what's next? And so it's like the same thing, like. All right, now I got the youth league, I got the travel league, I got this, now what's next? Now how I can get these guys. And I think that serves me well as a coach at times too, just because it's always like, hey, like we had a good practice, but what's the next one going to look like? Right. Or like, so like that's just kind of my personality. It drives my wife nuts, like I'm like Alexander Hamilton, like nothing's never enough. Right. And so it's like, but no, that's kind of where I'm at with the youth program is, you get yourself an Emily Fleece, get yourself a Tim Paris, you get yourself them, and that stuff runs smooth, man. Like they got everything figured out with and the girls program as well. Like they worked with the girls program, got the girls program kind of up and started too a little bit. And like I said, I just got to throw out all my ideas. And, like I sent Emily an email the other day. I had like 12 different ideas for the Bruin Den. And she's like, I'll work on them. And like, I'm like, cool. Like, because like I said, I'm not from here. So when you're talking about funding and stuff like that, they know a lot more people than I do, and so then that was nice. We had a golf outing not too long ago. We had like 48 sponsors. I didn't know it was a 9-hole course until like 3 days before. I was like, where am I going to put all these signs? So
lined up across.
But the nice thing about that even is like, you just tell your players and your parents and stuff, hey, like, go out and, talk to people about it, solicit them and everything like that. And then I just had to come in on the back end, introduce myself and talk to them and, be myself. And that's been the greatest thing about it, man, is, you have really good people around you. It's like the old saying, you are the product of the 5 people you're around the most, and so I've put myself around some pretty good people here. So it's been good.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.